and of course outgoing and incoming guests and the diplomatic community, most welcome. Of course, we feel and say with a heavy heart goodbye to those who are leaving us, and especially the ambassadors who are leaving, who had long associations with all of them, and I hope they will remember this part of the world which has helped in this region, and by helping last 70,000 innocent lives. As my dear friend Mushahid Khan was saying about something about America, well, within the norms of diplomacy, I would say that they are not naive. Whatever they do with a strategy. They do with a motive. I'm using the word motive deliberately because that has proven now when they decided to withdraw, but withdrawal was without an exit strategy. And I think we all know, we are all students of politics, and we know that if you are taking action, and unless you have alternate to save the people, save the country, save the peace of that region, you've got to do something. So, very rightly you quoted, and I'm sure nobody is going to disagree with me. If US was sincere, I'm using the word, if US was sincere, they would have actually formed an interim government before leaving Afghanistan. I have written 4 articles on it, and my first article was that it is a strategical blunder or some motives for not actually giving an exit strategy. Now the situation way back in 94, 95 is not the same what is today. We know all that all these now you can call them Daesh, Al-Qaeda, Taliban, and of course many other hidden terrorists. But what is important, that now once they are leaving, are they really leaving fully? Are they going to keep some remnants there? No, the decision of you people and the world is who is going to be the favorite of US after the withdrawal, Taliban or President Ghani? But with their very clear statements that within these 6 months of withdrawal, there will be the government of Taliban. And many excellencies have been writing to me, talking to me. I have been discussing my articles, and I mentioned it. And you know what Pakistan did for this region? I think you all put your hand on your heart, and you will feel that we have done everything best possible to bring the peace to this region. But what is the reward? In the end, we are still called terrorists. In the end, we still say do more. And this do more syndrome, I have been experiencing, watching, right from the day when I was the Director General of the FIA. Subsequently, took over as Interior Minister, and all the presidents of the United States I met, I always heard from their mouth, do more. What do more? I mean, define it. Define it exactly. Like you see, Pakistan is being robbed, I'm sorry to use the word, in FATF. We were given 27 points to do it, we did 26. Forget about who's the government, who is governing. It's Pakistan. And Pakistan did that. And I remember the speech of the president of FATF, Mr. Piri, where he says, well, Pakistan's done a great job. Only one demand is left. And that is going to be also met. And what was that demand? 27 points. Only 10% is left. And I remembered at that time, I discussed this with Mr. Mushahid also, he put a caveat that we have enhanced the monitoring, quote unquote, monitoring of Pakistan's terroristic financing. We are never involved. So I wrote to the president of FATF. I asked, tell this naive man, as what do you mean by and how do you define this monitoring? You know what reply I got? It's with me, I'll make it public. They said, we deal with the government, so we had responded to you in the past, but I think we'd better leave with the government. So I said, okay, I'll see you in ICJ. Where that's my right as a global citizen, like anybody else. So we are being pushed on that side. And today I saw a new thing, that we have been recruiting army personnel, child army. Your Excellency, you are in this country. You tell me, can you do anything without ID card in this country? No. And the ID card cannot be made unless you are 18. So if the definition of adult in Pakistan is in 18, is same in USA. So this is another pressure on us. So Pakistan is perhaps has become an experimental object, like you call in psychology, or you call in science language, that you test as how it is tasting and how it is reacting. So in everything Pakistan is being blamed. But don't forget, there is, as I said, something behind it. We all know all these fat points, fat demands, in fact, were the demands of US. At that point of time when I was Interior Minister, I fulfilled, we refused. So they found the other way around. Of course, G7, who doesn't know, post-World War II, what was the strategy to deal the world? And the third word, to keep them under pressure, is to give them loans. And badly, sadly, unfortunately, we tasted the first loan in 1952, and till now, we are in trouble. And today we are filing around $40 billion of deficit in our budget. Excellencies, I will not take your more time, but I can tell you, and I must not hesitate to say that, and it will be dishonest to say, I think my friend from China is sitting here or not? No. Anyway, it is all for our this issue is not only for Middle East or Central Asia. This is for the entire region. Those Taliban who were launched at a point given time when they were needed against Northern Lions. And I'm very happy to say, I have no regrets to say, with General Babar, the then Interior Minister, and me as the Additional Director General FIA, yes, we launched them because we had to save our country. Because at the other side of the border, the Northern Alliance had already started advancing towards Kabul, and of course, those people behind that point of time, Northern Alliance, we had the intelligence that they will create problem on our borders. But having said so, it was not only Pakistan. America recognized them, Saudi Arabia recognized them, Russia recognized them, name any country in the world, and Taliban became the darling of Washington. And we all know how they were invited and how they were treated. It is the time, cycle of time, which is changing. And perhaps I may not be right. Maybe the darlings, the same darlings, are becoming now extra darling for the same country. This is only I'm putting it this way because today I saw some clips, and I would like you to go on the YouTube if it is still there. Which I have seen the army marching better than army, with all contingent from the armored and land army, and of course the medical, and of course see all the factions of the army which are required to make a big army. I have seen that clip of more than 45 minutes today. And you know who's taking the salute? The son of Mullah Umar, Mullah Yaqub. And I was first actually astonished to see that it cannot be Taliban. But the way their movements, and especially the commando movements, the elite force was displaying some very skillful trainers. And I have posed a question to the world, and I would like to pose a question to you also. You have the equal right to ask, as I have the right, because from Tajikistan to Uzbekistan, China. So what is more important in the given situation, we have to see as to how Daesh behaves or how Taliban behave with Daesh. Now, do they work together or they fight against each other? The three factions, Abu Sayyaf, Ahmed Shah Massoud and the Northern Alliance, of course Hadarwal, and of Pansheris, Pakhtuns, and of course General Dostum. On the other side, this is a total khichdi, and we say it has become a mob. And when it is a mob, the decision is made with difficulties. I think 11th September, probably the last date of withdrawal, but in between, let's say there are always a lot of slips between cup and lip. We see what happens during this period. But here I would like to, before I depart and say goodbye to you, Pakistan, which has done great job by bringing Taliban on the table. And this agreement in Doha was signed actually with the sole efforts of General Bajwa, the Army Chief of Pakistan, and his, of course, DGI Sahib General Hamid. I'm very open to say it because it's no more secret. Having done all that, giving this full, I do not know for whom Mullah brother is working. But Habatullah Khan, who is the new, the Amir of Afghanistan, Afghan Taliban, and we all have heard about Haqqanis. Siraj Haqqani is the deputy commander. And then we have Mullah Yaqub, the son of Mullah Umar. So this is actually a more powerful group in Afghanistan. And I can confirm you that more than 80% of the areas is in the possession of Taliban. Even yesterday they took over Bajor, other side of Bajor. And 3 days back, they had come as close as to 7 kilometers from the presidential palace. Now one has to think, Mr. Malik, you were saying they are very near, and they are saying their, the culminating time of their power, and they are seeing their everything happening. Why are not they doing? Well, I have got only two reasons to say. One, the statement from US that if Taliban advance towards Kabul, we'll bomb them. So that perhaps is keeping away. Or the agreement signed on the 11th, and I should not, perhaps it's the right forum to say, if the Taliban comes in the grip of any anti-Pakistan or anti-Chinese, I foresee trouble in China through these so-called lover of Islam. And I assure you they do not have anything to do with Islam. They practice everything except Islam. So if something happens tomorrow in China or in Pakistan, this will be an anti-move from those terrorists which will be playing in the hands of somebody else. And maybe one day I'll be sitting here over here, the same place, and be telling you details, some I cannot mention. But my request to you, to your countries, your head of states, please do something for Afghanistan. There is going to be a civil war, which I have been warning for the last 6 months, and Mr. Mishadullah must be actually thinking while I'm talking this and remembering what I have been saying in the parliament. It's coming true. So, if possible, if the world can take this step for the sake of Afghan people and the massacre which is expected, Pakistan is ready to come forward to bring the Taliban's other factions and President Ghani on one table to at least bring a government for 3 to 6 months so that the immediate fighting is done. Exactly like the way in 90s I was director of FIA, where I was part of that, when the Americans left and all stakeholders decided let there be interim government, and you must have seen President Rouhani was the head of the state, and Gulbuddin Yar was made the Prime Minister. But before, just a passing reference, India is doing its best to take the Taliban in their hand, and this is a verifiable information which I'm saying, and they have been supplying $2 billion to Afghan government. And now, and it can be confirmed, and if anybody from India or anybody wants to know, he can always call me, I can give him the proofs. The Taliban have met the Foreign Minister of India twice in Doha. And if they want to know, I can tell their room numbers and which room number this meeting took place. Just 5 days back, the security head of India has met again Taliban leadership in Dubai. And I know that gentleman who had arranged the meeting from Afghanistan. I better don't take his name unless it is required. So India is doing its best to install a pro-Indian government. Now question rises, which I leave it to you, why is India so much interested, being far off, to have a government of their choice for two reasons. One, to work against Pakistan, and second, to launch something against China. I hope this is a lot of food of thought for you. Thank you very much. And I'm sorry, my dear, I have taken more time. And in fact, I was in another meeting, another conference I had to come, because I cannot say no to this gentleman. He's already written actually printed 5 books, 2 he's working more. So I think one can't dare to actually deny his friend and a printer. Thank you very much. God bless you.